and browse it. Just I have this video, select a video and then set on the screen. Now you have done all the setting. You have to do start streaming now. Start streaming, click on start streaming and start the video, and it will automatically start stream on your YouTube channel. You can see that in 5 to 10 seconds it will start stream on your channel.
What if I told you that a simple penny from 1916, with just a tiny D under the date, could be worth over $3,500? Sounds hard to believe, right? But collectors are paying thousands for the right. Example of the 1916 D, wheat penny, and you could be holding one without even realizing it. This coin may look ordinary, but it's anything but. The D stands for the Denver Mint, and that tiny little letter makes a big difference in value. Here's why. In 1916, the Denver Mint produced just over 35 million Lincoln Wheat cents. Not a low number. But most were used, spent, and circulated heavily. That means very few survived in clean, original condition. And when it comes to coin collecting, it's not just the date that matters. It's the grade. In average circulated condition, a 1916 D penny might sell for $1 to $15. But start moving into better condition, and the price climbs quickly. A coin in MS63 red-brown can sell for $300 to $600. In MS65 red, you're now looking at $800 to $2,500. And in top-tier MS66 red, this small copper coin is sold for over $3,500, sometimes even higher. That's more than a brand new laptop for a penny made over a century ago. But here's the catch. Finding one in that condition is extremely rare. Coins from the Denver Mint in the early 1900s often had weaker strikes and less detail. That makes full sharp examples hard to come by. And that's exactly what collectors are chasing. They want strong strikes, full details, and rich red color. No scratches, no spots, no damage. The demand for early Denver Mint wheat pennies is growing, especially for coins from 1911 through 1917. And 1916 D is right in that collector hot zone. Now let's talk survival. The majority of 1916 D pennies were spent immediately. They went into circulation, got scratched, faded, and worn out. Very few were saved in pristine condition. That's why today, high-grade examples are so valuable. But here's where things can go wrong. Some people find an old coin and they try to clean it. Don't do it. Cleaning a coin destroys its surface, and with it, most of its value. Collectors and grading companies want coins in their original state, with natural tone and unaltered copper luster. So if you come across a 1916 penny with a small D under the date, and it looks uncirculated, sharp, and red, do not clean it and don't spend it. Instead, send it to PCGS or NGC for grading. These are the two top professional grading companies in the world. They'll verify the coin's authenticity, assign a grade, and seal it for protection. Once that happens, your coin can be listed in auctions, sold to collectors, or held as a long-term investment. Because what looks like just another penny, would you spend a penny if it could be worth over $4,000? Most people already have, especially when it comes to the 1914 S wheat penny. It's small, simple, and brown. But with one tiny detail, that S under the date, this coin becomes something rare and highly valuable. Let's break it down. The 1914 S wheat penny was struck at the San Francisco Mint, and it's one of the key semi-key dates in early Lincoln cent collecting. The San Francisco Mint produced just over 4 million of these coins. Not the rarest number, but far lower than most other years. Now here's where it gets interesting. Most of those 4 million coins were put straight into circulation. They were used, worn down, tossed around, and never saved in pristine condition. That's what makes the few surviving uncirculated examples so incredibly valuable today. In low circulated condition, a 1914 S might only sell for 20 to 60, but start looking at better preserved pieces, and the price shoots up fast. On the Curries, in MS63 red-brown, can go for $800 to $1,200. In MS65 red, prices climb to $3,000 or more. And in rare MS66 red condition, this penny can reach $4,000 to $5,000 plus at auction. That's a small copper coin, worth more than a brand new MacBook. But why does this happen? It all comes down to three things. Rarity, condition, and collector demand. First, rarity. Very few uncirculated 1914 S pennies exist today. San Francisco mint coins were not widely saved at the time. Second, condition. A coin with full red color, no scratches, and sharp detail is extremely hard to find. Even a tiny nick can cost you hundreds. And third, demand. Consent collectors are everywhere. And the 1914S is a must-have for serious registry sets. And let's be honest, most people won't even recognize this coin if they see it. It blends in with everyday pennies. But that little S under the date, that's the key. And here's something important. Never clean the coin. It might look dull or dirty, but cleaning damages the surface and kills the value instantly. Collectors and grading companies want natural, untouched surfaces. So if you find a 1914 penny with an S under the date, and it looks clean, red, and sharp, you could be holding a serious collectible. Get it graded. PCGS or NGC will professionally grade and encapsulate the coin. Once that's done, you'll know the exact value, and you'll be ready for serious buyers. Because a certified, high-grade 1914S isn't just a penny, it's a high-value asset, and prices are only going up. The early teens are some of the most collected years for Lincoln cents, and coins like the 1914S are disappearing into private collections. If you're lucky enough to find one in great shape, it could be your next big payday. So what should you do now? Check your old coins. Look for 1914, and a small S under the date. If it looks sharp, red, or uncirculated, don't spend it, don't touch it, and definitely don't clean it. Would you ever believe that a penny from 1919, with no mint mark, no special variety, just a plain old Lincoln wheat cent, could be worth over $2,500 today? It's easy to overlook. It's brown. And most people would never think twice about spending it. But in the world of coin collecting, condition is everything. And the 1919 wheat penny is proof that even a common coin, in the right grade, can bring unexpected rewards. Let's look closer. The 1919 wheat penny was struck at the Philadelphia Mint, no mint mark. It was one of the most heavily produced early Lincoln cents, with over 392 million coins minted. That number sounds huge, and it is, which is why most circulated 1919 pennies aren't worth much. In fact, in average condition, you might only get $1 to $10 depending on where. But here's where the story flips. The moment you find a 1919 penny in uncirculated condition, sharp strike, full detail, original red color, you're no longer dealing with common pocket change. You're dealing with a coin that could be worth hundreds, even thousands. Let's talk numbers. A 1919 penny graded MS63 red-brown. That's worth around $150 to $300. Move up to MS65 red, and you're looking at $900 to $2,500. And in MS66 red, this simple penny can fetch $2,000 to $2,800 at auction. That's no exaggeration. That's a real price range backed by sales. Why? Because while millions were made, very few survived in perfect condition. Back then, coins were used immediately. They weren't saved in rolls. They weren't collected like today. And that makes high-grade survivors exceptionally rare. It's also about demand. Lincoln cent collectors love early-date wheat pennies. They want complete sets from 1909 through the 1930s, and they're willing to pay top dollar for pristine coins. Now here's something most people don't realize. Even if the 1919 penny doesn't have a mint mark, and even if it looks plain, the grade makes all the difference. Just one fingerprint, one tiny scratch, one dull spot can drop the value by hundreds of dollars. Collectors want natural luster, the untouched original copper tone. That's what drives serious bids. So what should you do if you find a 1919 penny? Then, look at the condition. Does it have shine? Are Lincoln's features sharp? Is the wheat on the back full and clear? If it looks clean, uncirculated even, don't clean it and don't spend it. PCGS or NGC are the top names. Only then will you know if you've got a $5 coin or a $2,500 treasure. And remember, values keep rising. Collectors are increasing. High-grade coins are disappearing. That's why early Lincoln cents like the 1919, even with no mint mark, are becoming more valuable year after year. So before you toss that old coin back in the change jar, take one last look. You might be holding a piece of American history. If this opened your eyes to what's hiding in your own pocket change, subscribe now for more rare coin values, collector secrets, and investment-grade pennies. Would you believe that a penny minted over 100 years ago, with just a tiny S under the date, could be worth over $8,000? Sounds impossible, right? But that's exactly the kind of surprise hiding in the 18S wheat penny. Most people wouldn't give it a second look. It's brown. It's old. It's just a penny. But the truth is, if it's the right coin, in the right condition, you might be staring at a serious payday. Let's get into it. The 1918 wheat penny was struck at the San Francisco Mint, with that little S right beneath the date on the front. Over 34 million were minted, which sounds like a lot, right? But here's the catch. Almost all of them were used, worn down, and spent, and that makes high-grade survivors extremely rare. In circulated condition, a 1918 penny might bring you $1 to 20, depending on where. Nothing too exciting yet. But when you step into uncirculated territory, everything changes. A 1918 and MS63 red brown? That's easily $500 to $900. In MS65 red, prices reach $2,500 to $4,000. And in MS66 red, you're now looking at $7,000 to over $8,000 for a single penny. But here's what makes the 1918 so tricky. Coins from the San Francisco Mint during this time often had weak strikes, so full detail was uncommon. Many were poorly produced, which means a sharply struck 1918 is a collector's dream. So what determines the price? You already know. Condition, rarity, and demand. That's everything. Sharp detail, original red color, and zero damage push the price into the thousands. Rarity. High-grade versions are incredibly hard to find. Most were never saved in mint condition. Demand. Lincoln penny collectors know this is a tough date. They're always on the hunt for clean examples. And here's a warning. There are fakes out there. Some people stamp an S onto a Philadelphia penny. But real experts, dealers and graders, can tell the difference instantly. The font, the position, the texture of the mint mark, it all matters. So if you think you've found a S that looks clean and sharp, don't touch it. Don't clean it. That could destroy the value. Instead, send it in for grading. PCGS and NGC will confirm if it's real, grade it accurately, and seal it in a tamper-proof holder. And once that's done, you've got a coin that could sell for hundreds, or even thousands. Now let's put this into perspective. Penny sold for 8,000 T12 in a top auction. Just because it was graded MS66 red, only a handful of coins exist at that level. That's what makes the price so high. You might be holding one right now and not even know it. These older coins, especially from San Francisco, have serious value when they survive in high grade. So here's what to do. Dig through your coin jars. Ask your parents or grandparents. Flip over every old Lincoln penny and check the date. If this surprised you, subscribe now for more rare crits, collector tips, and crazy true values. One penny at a time. Next up, one more rare penny. Would you spend a penny if you knew it could be worth $5,000 or more? Most people already have, because the 1915 wheat penny, with no mint mark, just a simple date, is hiding in plain sight. And depending on the condition, it could be one of the most valuable Lincoln cents in your collection. So how does such a basic, everyday-looking coin turn into a small fortune? Let's break it down. 1915 was the last full year. Before the U.S. entered World War I, the country was still running normal coin production, and the Philadelphia Mint struck millions of pennies. Over 29 million to be exact. So yeah, it's not exactly rare in number. But here's the twist. Surviving 1915 pennies in mint state condition, with original red color, sharp detail, and zero damage, are extremely hard to find. Why? Because back then, no one was hoarding coins. They were used, circulated, worn out, and forgotten. So let's talk value. In average circulated condition, a 1915 wheat penny with no mint mark might sell for $1 to $10. Not bad, but nothing exciting yet. Now take that same coin, but it's clean, red, untouched by fingers or time, and certified as MS63 red-brown. Now it's worth $150 to $300. Push it up to MS65 red, and you're looking at $1,000 to $800. And in MS66 red, a perfect specimen can bring in $3,500, even over $4,000 at auction. That's a penny worth more than most people's laptops. And here's the thing. The market demand is real. Collectors today are rushing to complete early Lincoln cent sets. From 1909 to 1916, every year is being chased. And 1915 is no exception, especially when it comes in high grade, with clean copper color and full detail. So what determines the price? Three things every time. Rarity. High-grade 1915 pennies are hard to come by. Most are heavily circulated. Condition. Even one fingerprint or scratch drops the value fast. Demand of Lincoln cent collectors are everywhere. And they pay big for pieces that complete their set. And don't forget, fake coins, altered dates, or clean surfaces will destroy your chance at top dollar. Never polish or scrub a wheat penny. It ruins the original tone collector's crave. Instead, if you think you have a good one, get it graded. PCGS or NGC are the top choices. They'll tell you exactly what you've got and help you reach buyers through real auction houses. Because what looks like just another brown penny might actually be a multi-thousand-dollar collectible. And here's the kicker. As time goes on, fewer high-grade examples survive. Collectors are aging. New buyers are entering the market, and demand is only increasing. That's why the 1915 penny, even with no mint mark at all, has become a sleeper hit for smart collectors. So here's what you need to do. Go check your old jars. Look through your coin folders. Flip over every penny from the 1910s, and pay attention to the 1915. Would you ever throw away a coin worth more than $4,000 because it looked like just an old penny? What if I told you that a simple faded 1912 wheat penny with no mint mark could be worth more than your phone, your rent, maybe even your vacation? Sounds crazy, right? But it's real. And most people will spend it without a second glance. Today you're going to find out why some 1912 pennies are selling for thousands of dollars, while others are nearly worthless. And the difference? It comes down to three things: rarity, demand, and condition. The 1912 wheat penny was minted at 3 locations: Philadelphia, Denver, and San Francisco. The plain 1912, no mint mark, came out of Philadelphia. It features that classic early Lincoln portrait on the front, and those iconic wheat stalks on the reverse. It might look simple, but it holds a powerful place in early 20th century coinage. Now let's talk value. In average circulated condition, a 1912 penny might only bring in $1 to $15. Not much at first glance, but the moment you find one with a strong strike, original copper red color and minimal wear, you're in another price bracket. In MS63 red brown, prices can reach $250 to $400. In MS65 red, values jump to $1,200 to $1,800. And in superb MS66 red, this penny can sell for $3,500, even $4,000 or more. But here's the twist. Those numbers aren't set in stone. They rise and fall with collector demand, grading scarcity, and market pressure. Because the truth is, the value of a 1912 penny depends heavily on rarity, demand, and condition. Let's break that down. Rarity? Millions were made, yes, but few have survived with their original luster. Even fewer with clean, untouched surfaces. Demand? Lincoln cent collectors are obsessed with early dates. Everyone wants the 1909 SVDB. But the 1912 is also on their radar, especially in high grade. Condition? That's the deal breaker. One tiny scratch, a spot, or slight discoloration can cut the value in half. A perfect example, though, that's a coin that turns heads at auctions. And remember, this penny is now over 110 years old. Most were passed around, worn down, and forgotten. So a clean, red, near-perfect 1912 penny? That's investment-grade copper. And it gets deeper. Some collectors will pay double or triple market value if a coin completes their registry set. They want the best. They'll pay top dollar for it. And they're not just looking at auction houses anymore. They're digging through eBay, private dealers, even TikTok and YouTube. So if you come across a 1912 penny that looks unusually fresh, don't toss it in your change jar. Check the surfaces, check the strike. And most importantly, don't clean it. Cleaning kills value. Let the professionals handle it. Send it to PCGS or NGC. Get it graded, slabbed, and certified. Only then can you unlock its full potential at auction. Because what looks like a penny today could be a $4,000 surprise tomorrow. And as collectors age and new buyers enter the hobby, the price trends are going up, not down. So here's what you need to do. Go check your change jars. Ask your parents or grandparents. Dig into those forgotten drawers and dusty boxes. If you find a 1912 wheat penny, look close, because what you're holding might not be just history. It might be your next big payday. If this video helped open your eyes to the hidden value in your pocket change, subscribe now for more jaw-dropping coin values, collector tips, and rare finds, 1 penny at a time. Would you believe that one of the very first Lincoln pennies ever made could be worth over $100,000 today? Stick around, because the 1909 S wheat penny is not just rare, it's the holy grail of early 20th century American coinage. Now let's rewind to the beginning. The year, 1909. The U.S. Mint was introducing the brand new Lincoln cent, replacing the Indian head penny for the first time in American history. A real person, President Abraham Lincoln, was featured on a coin. But here's where it gets interesting. Two mints were involved, Philadelphia and San Francisco. And the San Francisco mint, the one that stamped the tiny little S below the date, produced only 1.8 million pennies that year. That's nothing compared to the over 70 million from Philadelphia. And that small S, it turned this coin into a... Now imagine this. You find an old cigar box in a drawer. Inside is a dusty roll of wheat pennies. And peeking out near the front, a 1909 Lincoln cent with a small faint S beneath the date. You might be holding a coin that's worth thousands. Even in heavily circulated condition, a genuine 1909 S can sell for $300 to $500. That's beat up, scratched, worn out. Now let's move up. A lightly circulated 1909 S, you're talking $1,000 to $2,000. An MS-64 red brown, $5,000 to $7,000. Now here's where it jumps. In MS-66 red nearly perfect, this coin has sold at auction for over $100,000. That's right, 1 penny, 6 figures. Why? Because there are almost no survivors in top grade. The coins that were made were quickly tossed into circulation. And back then, no one thought to save them. It was just a penny. But collectors today, they know exactly what this coin is worth. And the counterfeits? Oh, they're everywhere. Some people take a regular 1909 Philadelphia penny and try to engrave a fake S underneath. But professionals can spot them. From the font to the mint mark position, to the coin's luster and die details. Now here's the hook. There could be a $50,000 coin sitting in an old family jar, and unless you know what to look for, you'd never realize it. That's why the 1909 S is still one of the most sought-after coins in all of U.S. numismatics. It's the first-year issue of the Lincoln cent. It's got the San Francisco S mint mark, and it's got low survival numbers in any grade, especially in red, uncirculated condition. In fact, high-grade examples are almost museum-level rare. So how do you know if you've got the real deal? Look just below the date for that clear, well-struck S. If it's worn but still visible, you may already have a few $100 in your hand. If it's clean and glowing with natural copper red luster, that's where the big money begins. Just don't clean it. Never clean a rare coin. It destroys value faster than anything else. Instead, get it graded. PCGS or NGC are your go-to graders. They authenticate, slab, and protect your coin, so auction houses and buyers take you seriously. And once that 1909 S is certified grade, you could be looking at life-changing money. This isn't just pocket change. It's a piece of American history, and one of the most iconic collector coins on the planet. So the next time you come across old pennies, check that date, look for the S, and ask yourself, could this be the one? If this video opened your eyes to the world of rare coins, imagine what else is waiting to be discovered. Subscribe now for more rare finds, secret coin values, and collector tips that just might change your life. One coin at a time. Would you ever believe a single penny from 1917
could be worth over $30,000 today?
Well, you're about to discover how one tiny D mint mark can make all the difference in your coin collection, and maybe even your bank account. The 1917 D wheat penny, struck at the Denver Mint, is one of the hidden gems of early 20th century American coinage. It's got that classic Lincoln design on the front, wheat stalks on the back, and a tiny little D right under the date. But what makes it so special? It's not just the age, it's the scarcity in high grades, the historical significance, and the obsession from collectors across the country. Back in 1917, the world was at war. The U.S. had just entered World War I. Copper was in demand. The mint was pushing hard, but quality control, not great. That means today, a perfect 1917 D penny is incredibly rare. Imagine this. You find a dusty old jar in your grandma's attic. You pop the lid, and inside, tucked between some junk change, is a coin that collectors would fight over. For tens of thousands of dollars. Would you recognize it before you spent it? Now look, the average 1917 D penny in circulated condition, it might only get you $2 to $30. Not much, right? But he's crazy. Start looking at better conditions, especially uncirculated ones, and you're in a completely different world. In MS-63 red brown, you're talking $1,000 to $2,500. In MS-65 red, sales have reached over $12,000. And in superb gem condition, MS-66 red, you're now in the $25,000 to $30,000 range. That's a penny worth more than a car, maybe even a down payment on a house. But hold on, it goes even deeper. There are only a tiny handful of known coins in that top grade. That's why collectors go crazy. They're chasing that one perfect coin to complete their Lincoln cent registry set. And here's the twist. Fakes are out there. Some people take a regular Philadelphia penny and try to stamp a fake D on it. But experts, they know what to look for. D marks, strike sharpness, luster. These things don't lie. But here's the kicker. There could be a $20,000 coin sitting in your change jar right now, and most people wouldn't even blink before spending it. Let's hit you with some real numbers. In a heritage auction, a 1917 D in MS66, red sold for $28,200, one coin, 1 penny. And guess what? There are less than 10 known in that grade. That's what keeps the prices climbing. Even a penny with some red tone and minimal marks, if it's slabbed and certified, can sell for $5,000 to $7,000. So, why are Mint State 1917 D pennies so hard to find? It's the way they were made. The Denver Mint used worn dies. Lots of coins came out soft, faded in detail. That makes the well-struck ones super rare. And remember, this was over a century ago. Most of these pennies were used, handled, and forgotten. Then ask yourself, why are collectors and investors spending thousands on a 1-cent copper coin? Because they know the market. They know the demand and the historical value. Lincoln cents had only been around for 8 years in 1917. That makes the early Denver and San Francisco coins key pieces in every serious collection. People don't just want the 1909 SVDB anymore. Now they want it all. And the 1917 D is right up there. Low population, low survival rate, high value potential. Collectors are aging. New collectors are coming in. And prices? They're up. So what should you do now? Check penny jars. Dig into your drawer. Look under the date. If you spot a small D and the coin looks sharp and clean, do not clean it. That could wipe out thousands in value. Instead, get it professionally graded. PCGS or NGC are your go-to services. Once it's slabbed and verified, you've got a ticket to top dollar auctions. This isn't just a penny. It's a slice of American history. And maybe your next big payday. If this video blew your mind, just imagine what else might be hiding in your pocket change. Subscribe now for more coin secrets, jaw-dropping values, and collecting tips that could change your life, one coin at a time.